Trickster all the way down here to BattleMage. The blue is all Intellect. So when I started rolling towards BattleMage first, I hit all of this first. So let's go over this. Intellect is very, very important because if you go this route, you're going to be very, very squishy. But you're going to hit like a tank. And you're going to hit from a distance. So first way I went Intellect. The increase in Intellect increases magical damage by 5% additional points. That's huge. For each one of these, that's huge. So there's 5% right there. There's another 5%. That's 10% right off the rip, okay? I went to this one. Arcane Deflection. On a successful parry, 20% mana gained. It's nice to have this because it's opening up the rest of this. But the thing that you got to remember, being a mage, being a whole Intellect, you want that whole gain of Intellect back. You want that mana back. And if you don't defeat the mobs if you pull too big of a mobs and you're using your staff, you're going to burn through that mana very quickly. It's a little sniper action. That is why I choose a mage. So having that early game is huge because you can let them beat on you for a minute when you have a shield. And while you're sitting there blocking, you're gaining your mana back. And then you sit there and tap away what you blink away, which is here. That's where I want to immediately. I want this route as fast as I could. Replaces a dodge roll ability with a short range teleport. Oh God. Oh God. That guy's poison. Run! Run! To me, that is a big game changer, especially early, because we're going squishy. It's a big game changer. You guys will like that very, very much, especially you WoW players. That's a mage build right there. Then I went down here and did blink attack and emergency blink. You can blink while being stunned. This will break the stun stat. Huge. Blink attack. Blink into an enemy triggers an explosion which deals fire damage in a small range. So if you have more than one, that's an AoE. That's your area effect damage. It's huge. Damage and mana cost scale with the Intellect attributes. The more intel you put in there, these little dots we were just talking about, the more it's going to hit. So when you get blink, you definitely want to unlock these as soon as possible too. Not only are you using this as an escape, but you can use this as a oh shit button. Okay? Where are we going back to? Arcane Deflection. We did. Another Intellect. You want to get your attribute up. There's 15% right off the rip. Early game, 15%. That's what you're looking for. We go down to Unity. Damage enemies with wands has a 25% chance to recover 2% mana. The wand doesn't use any mana. You sit there and use it over and over and over and over, and it does not burn your mana. It's great, especially if you're just a 1v1 on a mob. I use this a lot, so that's why I push this quite a bit. If you guys push the staff, that's going to be towards the wizard's part. Early game, it's really hard to me to use a staff because the staff uses so much mana so fast, but it does hit hard. But the cooldown of charging it up and using it, that to me it seems more late game when you're getting into bigger and better mobs and boss fights. And I recommend going the wand route first. Find you a wand right off the rip and put it on, and you'll see what I'm talking about. We did the 2% mana back. So whenever I'm using my wand, I'm using it. Late game, use a staff on someone, switch to a wand, and start hitting them to finish him off because he's probably already 3/4 of the health away, and he's only got 1/4 of the health left. Defeat him with that. You're getting your mana back. Vice versa. That's going to help you with your rotation. Repeated wand damage is increased by 20%. So what this does is it procs another bolt. Yeah, as you could say, coming out of the wand. And that thing hits 20% harder than what it usually would do. When Unity, then Wand Mastery, and then Sting. Because of that. 30% chance to spawn additional spawn projectiles. When you do that, you immediately come over here and it hits 20% harder. There's your spirit. It's going to help you gain your intellect. Increases mana by 20 per attribute points. A little spirit never hurt, especially when you're using a lot of mana. I do recommend having a little bit of it, but I'm hitting every intellect I can. I'm not skipping over one. I want BattleMage, like I said. When we go Wizard, whatever I have left over here on the Wizard part, I will contribute into as much more intellect I can. I don't know. I think 25 is the cap. But like I said, we're still grinding. We're still having fun with it. I haven't done any research on other builds. This is what I've been doing, and it's working very well. So I hope it does. I hope you enjoy it as well. Now we're going to switch over to Wizard. This is late game. This is, like I said, first, Wand build. Second is Wizard. Increases your spirit attribute by 1%. So there you go. Your 20 attribute per point. Not 1% by 1. This is the way. Quick charge. Necromancer. Necromancer's procs ain't too bad so far. It's pretty neat when you destroy an enemy that has a chance of proccing the Necromancer, and big like floating ball of skulls and bones will appear, and he'll help you fight the mobs that you're with. It's pretty cool. They don't really do much damage, but every little bit helps. So as of right now, I'm keeping it until we fill out, and then I'm going to do another video on what I see at the end game of what I recommend. But anyways, Necromancer is what I'm using. This is the way. When attacking with a magical weapon, all damage is increased by 10%. I mean, guys, that is a huge game changer for your staff and wand, because it works on both. Quick charge reduces the time staff requires to charge up a spell by 50%. If you guys haven't used a staff but a couple times, because the whole aiming, then it charges up and it fires, takes way too long. That right there is a must if you're going to use a staff at all.
I don't know if that's what worked. Oh no, it did. Holy fuck.
The fuck out of here. If you're planning on using a staff even to fight a boss or what have you, you better have that on check, because that is huge. You're talking seconds difference. Definitely highly recommend this. I want this route for the Aurora. All foes within a 10 meters take a fire damage per intel per second. All those intellects I've been telling you to click, it pays off right here. So I want that route. So we got the spirit plus 1. The fire damage is increased by an additional 10%, which I have a fire wand, so that even made it even more stronger. Fire damage is increased by an additional 20%. There's another 30% for it just being fire. Your staff you can roll through if you collect them all. The fireball hits like a truck. I'm two-shotting bosses that were just sitting there going back and fighting. No panic, no panic, no panic. Oh, no, no. Oh, God. Look at her drop. Look at her. You're a loser, and you know it. Oh, my God. We're kind of like having fun with it, taking their heads, going to mount them on the wall, you know. This is a must. The Sun Aurora, all fell foes within 10 meters takes 1 additional fire damage per tick. And there's your spirit. I went ahead and got the spirit on there. Then I broke down here for the intellect. And I went this way with the wizard. When attacking with a magical weapon, your critical strike chance is increased by 10%. So not only am I hitting normally like a truck, but every once in a while, it brings in the Hulk. And I'm one-shotting bosses. Every once in a while. Don't only do that. Every once in a while, I can almost one-shot a boss. Chain hit. On a critical hit with a magical weapon, the attack will automatically hit a second enemy within 15 meters for 5 shock damage per Intelligence, Intellect, whatever. I haven't seen that really hit too much. Can't really say too much on that. The dark arts is all shrouded damage is increased by additional 10%. I didn't go that route because I don't have too much like shrouded damage, and I don't know really if they're talking about just damage in the shroud or if there's like abilities I'm going to get that are shroud damage. So I'm leaving that floating there. I'm working towards this way because I want this critical strike from mass destruction. A critical strike attack with a magical weapon will hit all enemies within 20 meters of the target for 2 shock damage per intelligence. And then I go here, get the extra 5%. Sub-Zero, I'm not a fire like a Frost one, and I've played Frosted WoW since vanilla, and I'm really enjoying the fire in this game. So I'm like, just burn it up, baby. You know what I'm saying? But if you like the slows and stuff and like freezing them, you got Sub-Zero here you could use. The lightning ability, it might hit better, but I'm not really impressed on the damage. It does do pretty good AoE. It brings them all down pretty equally. I can see that being helpful. Thunder, all shock damage is increased by additional 10%. See, if you went this route, if you like the lightning and the AoE damage, but definitely, if you go the fire route, do not skip over this. This is very, very important. It's saved my butt so many times. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in comments what build you guys went with and what you guys recommend, what you guys are having fun with. And newbies, I'll catch you on the next one. All right? Remember, everybody's a newbie at heart. Love y'all.